fam. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry I missed you guys the last couple of days. Getting over this cold, and it's been kicking my butt. But feel a little better tonight. My voice may go in and out, but we'll get through this one here pretty quickly. Really interesting DR day. It looked, if I was doing this without DR, it would look like it was just a consolidation day. Which it was for the most part, but there was definitely opportunities to take some trades and take some profit. So we'll go through this, and a couple folks have asked me about this. I think I mentioned a couple of videos about what I call the DR ladder, and so I just want to kind of talk about like what I don't know if I made it up or if it's something that I got off of another video, but this is how I think about DR and how I trade DR. And for me, I'm a scalper by nature, right? So I love scalps, so this fits perfectly into my idea of how my trading identity, so to speak. Now, it may or may not work for you, or it may not work the same way for you. I always give Angela a lot of credit because she has a tremendous setup when she looks at DR and how she has confluence with everything else. And that's another way to look at it as well as adding the ICT components in there also. So, so the way I look at the ladder, the DR ladder, is really simple, right? There's 5 rungs on this ladder. And so if you start at the top, right? If I start at the bottom, like I'm climbing up the ladder, I got my DR low, right? Then I have an IDR low, that's the next rung. The third rung is that 0.5 fib, and then I have IDR high and then DR high on the top of the ladder. And you can go up and down this ladder based on where price is telling you to go, okay? And so we'll talk about kind of what happened today and how the ladder, it won't show you a lot of the rungs, but it will show you kind of how I use the ladder to get in and out of my scalp trades. So DR, we closed, we had a low confirmation today, probably around 10:30 or so. And so that triggers for me the next rung on the ladder, right? Because remember, I'm always thinking about once DR confirms, I'm expecting it to retrace. Okay. Now, yesterday we did not have a retrace. Now on the 5-minute, right? If you looked at the 1-minute, there was a retrace, but following the rules on the 5-minute, there was not a retrace. Prices went straight up, and so there was no pure DR trade yesterday. But today, price came down, closed low. The next candle actually went back up above the DR, okay, the DR low line. And so that's the first rung on my ladder, right? And so what I do is when price goes up, you see how this wick kind of comes up higher? So at that point, I'm going to put a trade on at the DR low line, okay? So I want the price to go above it and then come back down to it, right? Because my expectation is that since we closed low, or we confirmed low, that we're going to move back down here, right? So, and that's what I did. So I put a order here. Price went up, came down, picked me up, okay? And then, what I'm looking for, in this case, I had 10 points. So what I did today was I said, okay, I'm going to have my stop at 5 points, and I'm going to have my take profit at 10 points, right? That's all I'm going to do for the day. So whenever the setup shows me, I'm going to take that trade. So that's what I did. Price never went up, of course, never got close to sorry. All right. So price never got close to the stop loss, came back down on this green candle and closed out. So the first 10 points, okay? The next setup I had was actually this one so price, this one right here about 11.15, same structure, price went up above it and didn't, and then came back down. I actually didn't take this, and I missed this one, which is what I really like because I like the green candles. But the next candle did the same thing, went up. Once I saw it trigger this red, once I saw it trigger above, I just put my order again back on DR low, right? So, and then same thing, 5-point stop loss, 10-point take profit. There's your second 10 points, so up 20 points for the day. With really no stress here, right? Because I'm not waiting. I'm waiting for if it was going to take me out, it will take me out very quickly. So I'm in good shape here. All right, so the next thing that happened, so price comes down here. It didn't take any of these trades. You know, what? So here, right around lunchtime, um, I try to let lunchtime set up because normally in the second half of lunch, like 12:30 to 1 is when things actually happen. So I didn't, even though I had a DR low here, I didn't take that trade. Um, so the next thing that happened was price went up. It went up to the second rung on the ladder, right? So now price is climbing up. It climbs up above DR low, okay? And so, as you can imagine, my trade then was put my order on DR low, on IDR low, I'm sorry, and let it run, right? And so that's what happened. Caught price coming back down off this green candle, and then there's your 10 points there. So I'm at 30 for the day. Next thing it does the exact same thing again. Goes back up above IDR, jump in a trade at DR low, and then come down, right? So about 10 points. Took me about 20 minutes for that one, and had a little bit of a scare here, but I was determined to follow the rules today, and not move my stop. So luckily I did that because it came back down and took out the 10 points. And then the last trade I had for today was again the same thing, above IDR, right, and then put my order right here on the IDR low, and then let it run 10 points. It actually ran down quite a bit more than that, but again I was sticking to the rules of 10 points, take profit, and that's a 50-point day, right? And so this was the one thing I did, and I think I told you guys this before, is like I have alerts set at all these lines. Okay, so in the morning, once DR sets up, I just go ahead and set an alert. Right, so I want to know when price crossing above this or above this one. I want to know when price crosses this one, period, and I want to know when price crosses below this or below this one, because that lets me know when it's time for me to actually pay attention to the chart. Right, so I look at the chart in the morning. If I see like a really great ICT setup before 9:30, I will take that. But majority of the time, I'm looking for a DR setup. So, which is really great for me because I really don't have to focus on the market until 10:30. Okay, sounds weird, right? Because all the action happens between 9:30 and 10:30 most of the time. But with this strategy, I don't have to really focus on that. And then all I'm doing now is looking at where I can get my opportunities. So if I look at this, market today, this is a consolidation market. This range was we didn't have any big moves up. We didn't have any big moves down. We had a nice consolidation. But again, following the strategy, there's a few places you could have taken profit. There was another one over here that I actually put in one of my groups, and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling a little cautious. Don't want to take this one because I thought price was going to have an end of day kind of move up, his OPEX and all that stuff. So I thought we'd actually shoot up, toward the end of the trading day. Didn't happen. Actually, if I would have taken this trade here, that'd been another 10 points. But again, who am I? What am I complaining about, right? This is the ladder, all right? So you hear me talk about that. The thing for me is critical is that I only take trades on the rungs of the ladder, right? So I'm not worried about this. Like for this big wick up here, that's probably 5-6 points. I'm not worried about that, right? That's not what I'm focused on. What I'm focused on is I want it to go above that so it can come back down below that rung, and then that's where I'll get my trade in. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Again, same thing here. All I'm looking for that wick up, and then once it comes back down, because that gives me opportunity to place my trade without having to worry about trying to get in up here, and am I going to get in or am I going to get left behind? Nope, I'm perfectly fine just putting my trade here and then kind of letting it run. If I don't get if I didn't get the 10 points, I don't get the 10 points. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 for 5 on these today. So no complaints from me. Overall, this week, if I remember right, three days, DR remained true, meaning that in this case it went down, it didn't go back up above DR high. So 3 out of the 5 days that remained true, and the 2 days that it didn't remain true, there was still plenty of opportunity before it actually went to a false status, right? So I know there was a few of us that took those trades where I think price had gone up and then it came back down, and we were able to kind of get some profits in for those trades without waiting for it to before it actually went false. Because once it goes false for me, I don't really look at it that much anymore. So hopefully that made sense. But anyway, so not a bad week. We'll continue to work on this next week. And again, anytime you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. If I can't answer them, I'll find the answer. So hopefully this was helpful. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.